Good to see you again. How are you? Yeah, internet. Today is another sunny day. Not a cloud in the sky. Not here. I hope it's nice where you are too. Today's video is brought to you by facts. What I'm about to say is very likely going to make some people very unhappy. Especially if they're, I don't know, one of the two people that actually watch my videos. Since pretty much nobody does, and that's alright with me. Talking about unfortunately, ye old war between Israel and Gaza, and what that has to do with opening a can of whoopass on lies. Unfortunately, the Middle East conflict is one that is replete with lies. And it is in fact replete with lies on both sides of the fight. And no, I'm not saying that to try to be neutral. I'm saying that to be factual. It is just true. People of all stripes lie. People on all sides lie. There are some lies that are said by both sides, and that's a fact. And many of them are repeated incessantly. And what that means is that you have to be able, if you're interested in this topic or involved in it, whether you like it or not, and you are affected by it in some way or not, you need to be able to discern the truth from the lies. And how can you do that unless you know what the truth is, and then figure out that the rest is not, right? What you ought to do is read some books, take some classes, learn some things, maybe study, the history of the Middle East. You could read, for example, a book that I helped co-author back in the 90s, the history of the Arab-Israeli conflict, actually the encyclopedia of the Arab-Israeli conflict. It was by Professor Bernard Reich, who was the editor, and a bunch of people wrote the content for that book. Among them, I was one, and he wrote that for Greenwood Press. You could for sure write that. They were the publisher. You could for sure find some copy somewhere on Amazon or wherever books, academic books that are very niche and kind of wonkish. You could certainly find a copy of it somewhere, or see some of it online. But anyway, what you want to do is to learn, the actual history, because too often, especially if you look at social media, you will see people arguing loudly and somehow thinking that because they're shouting, their point is more valid, right? Or just because they can shout down their opponent in a discussion or an argument. Certainly wouldn't call what I see online these days debates, but in discussions or dialogues or rants for one side against the other, people tend to think that noise makes their position correct. Well, it doesn't. What makes your position correct is the truth, is facts, right? Is objective, undisputable facts. And there's a whole lot of facts going around that are in fact true. And there's a whole lot of information going around that is in fact false. Now, knowing what the difference is very important. And that's why I highly recommend, whatever your position is, whatever your preference or your bias is, that you actually get an education. Because you know what? The most educated people about the conflict tend to be, first of all, the ones who are correct in their positions, and tend to be the ones who are actually most capable of imagining a better future. Why is that? Well, because when people can agree on facts, then they can put their opinions to the side and work out their differences, right? When people don't agree on basic facts, like if we don't agree that 2 plus 2 equals 4, then you're going to have a much harder time coming to a negotiated agreement with me because you don't accept basic facts. So, all right, so keep that in mind. Do as you will, but I highly recommend being factual and getting an education in order to do that. And if you think you have an education already, but you don't, or you don't know that you don't, the best thing to do is to double check and verify whether or not your education is certified and qualified and actually correct. So that's what I would recommend. Take care.